All right, let's talk about something we all use every single day, but maybe don't totally understand: the cloud. You hear that word constantly, right? It's the engine behind pretty much everything we do online. But what is it really? I can tell you what it's not. It's not magic, and it's definitely not some fluffy thing up in the sky. So let's get into it.
So let's start with a really simple question. You snap a great photo on your phone, you hit Save to Cloud or upload it somewhere. Where does it go? I mean, where does it physically exist? It kind of feels like it just vanishes into thin air, right? But no, it's going somewhere very, very real. And that's exactly the mystery we're going to solve.
Okay, first up, what even is the cloud? We're going to take this from being just a tech buzzword and show you how it's become the absolute backbone of, well, everything. So, at its most basic level, here's the deal. Cloud computing is just the delivery of all kinds of computing services. We're talking storage, servers, software, you name it, over the internet. Think of it like a utility, like electricity. You don't own the power plant, you just plug into the wall and use the power whenever you need it. The cloud is just like that, but for computing power.
And that right there, that's the huge game-changing idea. See, back in the day, if you were a company and wanted to launch a website, you had to go out and buy these huge, expensive physical servers. You'd have to set them up, maintain them, keep them cool. It was a whole thing. Now, with the cloud, you just rent it. You rent the computing power you need from massive providers like Amazon, Google, or Microsoft.
This quote really just nails it. Your device becomes a window, not the engine. Think about that. Your phone, your laptop, they're not really the powerhouse anymore. They're not doing all the hard work. They're just a window, a portal that lets you access these unbelievably powerful computers located somewhere else. All the real heavy lifting, that's happening in the cloud.
Okay, so how does it all happen so fast it feels instant? Well, let's just follow one single click you make. First, you tap something in an app. That request shoots out across the internet. In a split second, it arrives at a massive, and I mean massive, data center. Inside, powerful servers grab your request, figure out what you want, and process it. And then boom, the result is sent all the way back to your screen. And this whole round trip, it happens in milliseconds. It's just wild.
All right, next section. Now, it's important to know that the cloud isn't just one single thing. It's not a one-size-fits-all solution. There are actually different tiers of service depending on what you need to do. And to make this super clear, we're going to use a really helpful analogy: building a house. Okay, check out this table. It breaks down the three main tiers. At the bottom, we have IaaS, or Infrastructure as a Service. With our house analogy, this is like being given the plot of land and a pile of building materials. You have total control, but you also have to do all the work, like managing the servers and operating systems. Next up is PaaS, Platform as a Service. Here, the foundation and the frame of the house are already built for you. You just need to build and manage your app. And finally, at the very top, you've got SaaS, Software as a Service. This is the fully furnished, move-in ready house. Think about Gmail or Netflix. You don't build or manage anything, right? You just open it up and use it. That's SaaS.
So, we've talked about what the cloud is and kind of how it works, but now let's get to the important part. Why does any of this matter? How does it actually affect your life? Well, you're probably going to be surprised by just how much of your world, from the tiniest startups to giant streaming services, is running on the cloud. I mean, just think about your day. Streaming a movie on Netflix? That's the cloud. Backing up your photos so you don't lose them? Cloud. Taking an online class, using a cool new AI tool, working with a coworker on a shared document. Yep, cloud, cloud, and cloud. It is literally everywhere. When you're watching that movie, you're not actually downloading it, you're just streaming it, piece by piece, from servers somewhere far away. So why is it everywhere? Well, it comes down to some seriously powerful advantages. First, scalability. This means a tiny startup can suddenly go viral overnight and not crash because they can just rent more power instantly. Then there's lower cost. You only pay for what you actually use, which is huge. It's got global access, so you can get to your stuff from anywhere. It's super reliable with way less downtime. And all the updates happen automatically in the background. You don't have to do a thing. At the end of the day, the cloud basically democratized computing. It made incredible power affordable and accessible to everyone, not just the big guy. Okay, but let's address the elephant in the room. We're putting all of our photos, our documents, our entire digital lives in these data centers. So, is it safe? That is a huge question. Let's talk about security, and then we'll look at what's coming next for the cloud. When it comes to security, it's really a partnership. It's a shared responsibility. The cloud providers, your Amazons, Googles, Microsofts, they handle the really heavy-duty stuff. They've got physical security at their data centers, they're encrypting data, running firewalls, and monitoring for threats 24/7. But your role is just as important, seriously. Using strong, unique passwords and just being smart about what links you click. That's your side of the bargain. That's how you do your part to keep your data safe. And believe me, the cloud isn't standing still. It is constantly evolving. Right now, it's mostly based in these big, centralized data centers. But the near future is all about something called edge computing. The idea is to bring some of that computing power closer to you, to the edge of the network. This makes things even faster, which is absolutely crucial for stuff like self-driving cars that need instant responses. And looking even further down the road, we're talking about deep integration with AI and eventually quantum computing. That's going to unlock things we can't even really imagine right now.
This final quote really captures where all of this is going. The future isn't local, it's distributed. That just says it all, doesn't it? The old idea of all your important stuff living on one computer in your house, that's over. The future is about spreading that power out all over the world, across a huge network. It makes everything stronger, faster, and way more powerful.
So next time you stream a show, save a photo, or work on a document with someone, take a second to think about what's happening behind the screen. It's not magic. It's this incredible, powerful, invisible backbone. It's a global network of computers all working together to make our digital world, well, work.